Hello kids, it's me again, John Bartman. I'm here to continue work on the piece of music that I'm writing for 2D point and click adventure game. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and actually as I was going to bed last night, I thought I'd kind of fallen into a trap, and I'll explain more if you're interested. Stick around. If you're new to the channel, what I do here is typically I make music templates, I package them, and maybe sometimes even just offer a little bit of music business insight based on my own work and life. But today we're doing things a bit differently. It's a commission, one of two that I got in the last 2 months, which is great. I finished the 90s sitcom commission a few days ago, and now I'm returning to this action score for a just sort of a jazz-inspired 1930s point-and-click adventure game. So while I was lying asleep last night, while I was going to bed last night, I thought about this bass, yeah, because I think about bass when I'm going to sleep. Okay, so let me just solo out this part. You can hear this. Go. That is that's the bass that we see over here on the right. The palm muted Rickenbacker bass from Native Instruments. And I thought the reason I've chosen that instrument instead of a synthetic bass, which is more typical for action in a modern score, the reason I've chosen is because I'm trying to remain loyal to this idea of period music, like 1930s style music, so it should be a double bass. And I just thought actually that's going to trip me up. If I'm trying to make every instrument in this score sound like it existed in the 1930s, I'm going to miss the point. You can't actually, I don't think you can do that. So I'm going to progress it a little bit. I'm going to expand outside of the brief, and we're going to start with muting that bass and writing a new bass part with this synth bass that I've got over here. So let's just collapse all the winds. In fact, let's just collapse everything except for synth bass. Now we should be able to see just the one that I'm working with now, which is, let's collapse everything and stick it on the right. So this one over here on the right is Ploink. The patch is called Ploink, and it's, as you can hear, a very synthetic sounding bass. I'm going to be using this as an experiment to go with the bongos that I wrote yesterday. So you can hear the bongos in the kind of in the background. I'm just trying to get a nice, sounds very modern. Okay, let's take that down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, just got that one little clip over there. I'm going to isolate it, shift it over here, and then do what we call grouplication, which is just copying the exact same part over. Now when I make changes to one of the parts, it's going to make the same changes to all of them. I'm going to quantize that to 1/16 straight and just make sure it's very high. something to work against. And let's scroll through these patches a bit more and see if I can find a more suitable bass. It can't be too modern, of course. It must fit the film score. The score, it's got to still fit into this 1930s sounding score, though, because the rest of the score is going to remain influenced by jazz. But, you know, to write action, you've got to kind of lean on the tropes a little bit. And, oops, okay, there we go. Definitely not. I take the volume down, it's clipping. Slappy. Okay, let's try it again. Almost looking for something where I could load in my own sample. Let's try an experiment. I'm going to try an experiment today because this might be a bit advanced, but let's give it a bash. I'm going to open a new instrument up and then sample out the... I'm going to create a double bass sample, find a double bass sample, which I can then use as the basis for manipulation. This is a standard trick when in producing modern music, is of course sampling and manipulating samples. Now the question is, where do I find this bass sample? And I immediately think about the previous work I've done with my band and sound library. So let's just see if I haven't got something in here real quick. Acoustic guitar loops, backspin, turntable vocals. No, I don't have it there. I think I might have it in the... Oh, here's another idea. Let's get the sample from the existing instrument. Okay, good. So keep you on track here. What we're doing is I'm going to get the double bass, which I've already got loaded up here. There it is. I'm going to find a nice sounding double bass patch, double bass sample at least, and I'm just going to record a single hit of that. So here we go. Don't worry about the ugliness of the sound, we'll fix it now. Good. Alright, so now I'm going to take that sample over there and I'm going to just halve it in length. And let's make sure we just got the right sustain and decay and everything on this. I want it to kind of disappear with a natural sounding ring. So that's not going to work because it's too high velocity. So let's get that right. Take the velocity down. This little red marker, you can't see it behind me, but it's there. There we go, that's what I'm after, just that. 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. There we go, that should do it. So I'm going to cut it there. Got a cool technique now. Control-Shift-B is going to write that sample to a stereo stem. I don't want it stereo though. Let's do it in mono. I think it's Control-Shift. There we go, cool. Now this sample over here can be dragged into form, which is our synth bass. So I've got a lot of stuff going on here. Let me just try and... There we go, cool. Let's get that one up and now load that up there. Drag the sample in. I wonder if we can drag it straight from the DAW, from the actual track here into form. I'm not sure if we can. Cool, I'm going to kill that. Form is open and let's try. Boom. No, it didn't work, so now I'm going to have to navigate to this sample in the... there it is, cool. I think it's going to be under this project. So let's try it out. First things first, let's load up, let's get rid of all the background noise and then just take a look at the browser and project directory. Maybe it's in here. Is it in here? No, it's not in there. We're looking for the location of this file. How do we find that in Studio Games recorded moment stems? Okay, maybe I can paste this URL that I'm seeing on the other screen into this file browser over here. Okay, no, it doesn't seem to have worked. Studio Games recorded. So what if we went to project directory? I'm just trying to locate the stem that I just recorded. It's not the easiest thing. There it is. Cool. Cool. That's the duplicate. Okay, got it. I can't actually do changes to that either. Great. Now that we have that, I've just got to find a way to get it into form. Base synth definitely isn't going to work. And here is form, the synthesizer, and I'm going to drag it in there and it should work. There we go. Select section of sample up to 30 seconds. So now, using the double bass sample that I've just recorded from a separate native instrument, the upright bass from the factory library 4, I can now manipulate this sample in Reactor, which means I can get rid of the bass synth, which didn't work out, but I can rename this one bass synth. Okay, so it's pretty advanced stuff. What we're doing today is taking a sample from a virtual instrument, which is a recording of a real instrument, and resampling it and using form, which is this super cool sampling mechanism, to play it back in a novel way, in a way that doesn't sound true to the 1930s sound, but also captures the sort of action vibe that I'm going for. Okay, now we should be able to start hearing something. Nothing coming out yet. Could it be because something is soloed? Yes, it's because that's it. There we go. Now, this is exactly the result that I was going for, so I'm quite proud of what I've just done now. The problem I was facing was trying to create an action score which sounds a little bit modern, sounds cool, using traditional instruments from the 1930s that's like a, two irreconcilable things on a collision course. I'm not... Now that also doesn't sound exactly what we're going for, but it's closer because we're starting with this bass, this double bass sample. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to change the... First, let's just see how it sounds with the... See, now that's starting to sound much better. Because it doesn't sound like a bass guitar or a double bass. It's subtle. It's capturing the subtlety of what I'm after. I don't want to hear dun 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 on a double bass. That to me is like, it's a bit naff. It's not really how it's supposed to sound. Okay, let's solo out just the... That's what we're getting now. It's an underlying bass atmosphere, but there's something about it that is rooted in this original instrument, and that's what we're going for here. That's the trick, that's the secret. You find the original instrument sample, and this is going in the right direction now. I'm also hearing pops, which I don't like. I don't like pops. So let's try... Okay, the pops might just be as a result of the MIDI being a little bit... There we go, I think that'll work better, yeah. Let's take that up an octave and see what happens. That's it, yeah. So to get rid of pops like that, not the sound that you want when you are making something smooth like this, we have to adjust the we've got to adjust the attack a little bit. I think that's going to work. Also, and I'm having second thoughts about this note over here. What are we playing in? It's an A minor. Go with the congas. Alright. And let's experiment with this a little bit more. I just want to see if we can get better results by taking it up an octave. See, that already sounds way better to me. This is the result I was going for. So, go me, pat on the back. There we go. Little sip of Coca-Cola. Today is sponsored by Coca-Cola. I'm very proud to say that I had 2 sales in one day yesterday. So thank you, YouTube, and the viewers who are fueling my my ongoing rise to notoriety. I really appreciate you guys showing up every day, and it feels so good to just get like a couple of dollars for all this time and effort, and putting the work out there and showing people what I'm capable of. It's true that music composer positions are rare. That's not really what I'm going for here. It's more like a teaching position, to be honest, because I really enjoy teaching and sharing, like all the stuff that I've learned, and I just want to make everybody's life easier. I want them to reach their goals musically. So cool. We've got a nice thing going here with the bongos, but I do feel that it's also just a bit over the top mix wise. We're going to come back to the mix. So now, if it starts to if you start to hear it and go, it's starting to annoy me, then you got to do something differently. Okay, so this patch that I'm now manipulating is called whale drum. It doesn't have any picture, so you can take my word for it. But I'm just going to play around and see what kind of results we get with it. Doesn't sound like much going on at all. Okay, so stuff that. Let's try tongue drum. This is like really high poppy sounds. Cool, I'm taking bongo and congo down. Congo's not playing. Bongo is not controlled by this level, because the way that I've routed this is not actually the best way. Cool. Don't worry, we're going to get there and disguise that synthetic sounding bass to make it mush into the mix a bit more. See if piano does the job here. No, that's too major. We just need a bit of a... we need the tritone, which is an A flat, so an A and a E flat, so like this. Not the right vibe though. Too musical, weirdly enough. Let's try something else. So this is where we're just in the screwing around phase. I'm experimenting with different sounds. Straylight would work well here, but we'll come back to that. Just need to get that core theme, I guess is the word. Got to get that core theme out there, man. This is the mining of the mind. Another thing we could probably look at is just stretching this loop out a little bit, making it immediately more workable over 16 bars instead of 4. So where were we there? We were on the tritone. Like an octave higher would work here. And actually this is a mistake I made, I think, a couple of times when I was scoring the Frisian Chronicles, was using too many sustained notes. So firstly, let's just kill that, give our ears a break. I'm going to navigate over to the string ensemble and make sure that I am now working with some kind of arpeggiator. Now, I don't think they've got that in the... They don't actually have that with the patch that I'm going for. These string ensemble violin patches don't really do arpeggiation, but there are other libraries that I have that do. So I'm going to open up one of them now. It's a contact library called Session Strings. Session Strings has a nice arpeggiator function. It's actually just like a, you could call it an ostinato, a generative function basically. So let's get up Session Strings. There we go, Session Strings 2. You'll see what I mean now. Session strings is good for making accented rhythmic string patches across all the stringed instruments, double bass, cello, violin, viola. And it's got a range of articulations. So there's the interface. Now let's just collapse the browser so you can see better. Cool. So what we're aiming for now is I'm going to lean on... Oops. I'm going to lean on Session Strings. Not too hard because I don't want to break any of the instruments. But... actually, let's just call strings and then in brackets SS for Session Strings to contract with strings SE64. Cool. Let me do a usual little thing of disabling the master and enabling the pre-master. Bye-bye mixing disk, not going to need you for a while. Now check this out. Where is the generator? It's here somewhere. Honey, where did I leave the generator? Actually, that's not a joke. Here in South Africa, we get load shedding, like power cuts constantly, and you know, a lot of generators, actual petrol generators, are a daily part of our lives. Okay. Okay, so let's get a... where's rhythm generator? Rhythm animator, there it is, cool. Okay, so here's what I mean. Here's what you're going to get with Session Strings. Please wait for the sample pool to update. Can't go swimming in the sample pool until the sample pool has been updated. Please refrain from getting changed into your costume and being too eager to dive into the sample pool just yet, ladies and gentlemen. This makes me want to go on a sample purge, you know. Chainsaw all the samples in the world. Okay, so while that's going on, I make music templates. Check out the link in the YouTube description. I have really been enjoying seeing and chatting with some of the people who've been showing up for streams, so thank you guys so much for that. Much appreciate that. In fact, I might actually be missing a chat right now. Have I been missing your chats because I haven't been watching the chat stream? Sorry if that's the case. There we go. Okay, so now we've got the rhythm animator, and I'm going to just screw around with different articulations. Okay, we don't want that chord, we do want this kind of thing. Okay, that's staccato. Let's change that to pizzicato. Let's see what happens. Oops, looks like the loop is not looping. Please loop. Cool. We've got a little bit of the bongo going in there. So something like this. This is now very much action chase territory. We are going to include some more sophisticated drums at this. Okay, now let's get us something a bit more exciting in terms of rhythm. So as you can see, we're going 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, which is a good action rhythm. I'm going to tweak it a little bit and just see what kind of results we get when we do this. Here we go. Cool. Cool, now I'm just going to record the chord. Oops. Focus that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Definitely not what I was intending to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. That kind of thing. Just a little bit of a touch from the rhythm animator of session strings. I think I just nailed this velocity a little bit too hard here. Everything has got to be layered. Subtle. That's the idea. I like this, but it's just in the wrong, it's out of phase, as they say. It's in the wrong position. Cool. What are we doing? We're writing strings for an action sequence with its heart. In its heart is a jazz influence composition. I'm going to take the difference between the highs and the lows down. Cool. And now we can actually screw around with this a little bit more. That's too much. To give it some swing might be interesting, seeing as this is a jazz influence piece. Definitely not. Loop, one shot. No, we want that. Yeah, swing is still throwing me off. You can also change the articulations, see what kind of results we get here. I like that because it's a little bit erratic. Cool, I'm going to go with that, and at the same time I'm going to play out with a really high string melody, it's just a string hold, which is mimicking this. 2, 1, let's get it in the same octave. More horror. We don't want horror, we want action. Okay, not too much melody, don't get carried away. Alright, so as you see, I'm just kind of going with this, narrating my thought processes and composing music on the fly live for you. Cool. So I'm happy with the direction that we're going in now. I think it's kind of cool. One thing we would benefit from is a bit more rhythm. Because this piece, typically action chase stuff, doesn't have a lot of melody. You don't hear a lot of melody in chase sequences. So let us then, firstly I just want to find out what this is. I don't like it when I don't label stuff. Cool. Straylight, and we could also just double down on this. Drums, Abbey Road. Cool. I think that's drumming line. Let's, as an experiment, let's give this score a jazz drum sound. I've never done this before. Let's try action with a drum kit. Jazz drum kit. Usually you have cinematic percussion or something like that to play your rhythmic accompaniment. But here we go. Immediately thinking of the score to Birdman, which is just this kind of meandering drum solo. Really conjures up the New York arts scene quite nicely. This kind of works well. I'm thinking I might lean towards this. Okay, there are the cymbals. Let's take this down. I like that flam hit on the snare. I like that a lot. I think this is the direction to go artistically, is to substitute out your typical epic drums, which would make a better sort of Hollywood movie, for this indie game where we get to be a bit more free. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch the idea of these drums. let's just get going with this kick over here. Good. Alright, now we've got a kick sequence that we can use. Let's get rid of this. Oh, Reaper, don't you hide your clips behind other clips, please. Please, Reaper. Okay. Editing this to be a straight 16, as straight as they come. Why are we jumping around like that? Should not be jumping around. We should be straight on the beat. Maybe I've just screwed up while recording. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1. Take it from here. No, totally screwed up the recording. Might be quicker to redo. Let's try that. I'm going to just do it with a little bit more care this time. What I'm doing now is recording the drum beat, which is a kick drum for this action sequence. That should do. Okay, we don't need to record the whole sequence, just half of it. Now I'm going to zoom in and quantize so that it's hopefully all on the beat. Looks like it is. 100% 16th note quantization. Fantastic. This is feeling good. I'm making progress on what I admitted yesterday was my weak spot. Action music. I don't do a lot of it. I wish I had more opportunity to learn like this. And so thanks, David. This is learning on the job, as you can see. Okay, running. Trying to get away. Tension. But no, there's no time for tension. There's no time for tension. This is just survival. Okay. Tom drums. Where are the toms? This is good. This has got the strong thread now. Okay, let's copy over the little bit of flam on the drums, on the toms. I keep on hearing this thing. It sounds like a breath, like a horror breath. It's the sweep which resets the loop. So sudden breath. Now I'm going to try and do it with a trumpet. Let's see if we can keep with this instrumentation, this jazz era instrumentation. Okay, first things first. Get the tom notes, but quantized, not 100%, because I like the effect there of hearing what's called flam, which is when you've got, instead of a hit, which is perfectly timed with another hit, it's slightly off. So this type of effect. That's what I'm going for, but between the toms and the bongos. So if I quantize the toms 100%, it's going to be perfectly in time with the bongos, not ideal. It also helps that the toms are slightly panned. I'm not going to benefit from that if we get the game on mobile, then it's not really you're not going to get the benefit of stereo, at least not on a mobile phone mic. But this is cool. I like the way this is going, but it does need more. Let's zoom out a little bit and get Forzo. When in doubt, call Forzo. Who or what is Forzo? Forzo is my favorite brass library. You're going to see it now. It looks beautiful and it sounds great. Why don't you guys leave me a chat? Let me know what you're up to. Just say, what up, John? I enjoy knowing that you're there and just at least having a little bit of a time with me. I'm having a good time. Had a really, well, not a shitty day, but just income tax, man. I've got to learn how to do all this stuff. And it's shocking how in South Africa, where we need the tax system to work, there's just zero education. So you get 40-year-olds like me who still haven't learned how to properly do their tax because no one ever taught them and they didn't know why it was important. So shit, man, I've been scanning tax receipts and converting to PDFs and all that stuff all day. Not fun. But you know what is fun? Right here, right now, having this live music stream with you dudes. So drop me a line, let me know what you're up to, and I will keep showing up. Okay. Forzo is here, everybody. Fear not. Let's get that nice that tritone going here. Good. Nice, but this now needs to be maxed out. Okay, now let's play around with the articulations. Full horror. That's the one I used in the other piece, which is quite cool. Swell we might use, Brahm we might use, Forzato yes, long sustain almost certainly not going to use that. Portato I'm also going to change out. Let's see what else we got here. Extended. Random flutters, that looks good. That sounds good. Random staccato. Let's take this to a normal okay, let's play it back, hear how it sounds. Good. Cool, it's like this whirly-gig Leslie speaker going around playing all these different articulations. What else have we got here? Atonal effect, ensemble clusters. This is now, that's good. This is a good territory. There we go, that's what we're going. That's exactly what we're going for. Good. And here comes the Forzo instrument. Start it a little bit earlier in the loop so it can end as the beat happens. There we go. A little bit sooner even. Cool. So we've got this patch now, Forzo patch, full ensemble, and on the ensemble clusters. So that's a nice development over there. Next thing, do a little bit of housekeeping and make sure that your F#6, that your articulation is being triggered correctly each time. So I should be able to just put a little marker there, and that means that it's going to switch to that. No matter which articulation I manually change it to, when it starts playing, it'll automatically. Watch one more time. There. I feel like I could do some Brahm, maybe just start out with Brahm, like just be like, how low do we go? Jeez, they've done a good job on the graphics for this knob over here. The reflection and the way it dims, it goes from dark to light. That's great. Okay. We can also mess around with the space. We'll get to that all in the mixing process. But for now, we're just creating raw sounds to influence the direction that we're going in. Okay, let's think. What else generally occupies a chase sequence? Do we have a David? Do we have a reference track for this? No, we don't. So what we're looking at here is the sort of client feedback file. And as I see, I'm just looking at the chases section, there's nothing there. So that means we don't have a reference track, so it can be pretty conventional, I think. But we would just have to add some crashes and things. So I'm going to go ahead with... I could use the drum kit crashes, I suppose. That's not a bad start. Let's go to Abbey Road drums and just... This is nice. I'm just going to use both these symbols to get the sense here. Hopefully it works. 2, 3, 4. There we go. We'll loop that. Now we're going to just navigate up to that section in the... to select, oops, those guys, including this guy, no, including those. Let's see if we can benefit from quantizing. I don't think so. Let's see if we can swing it. No. No, swinging is throwing it off. I played it with swing, or with groove, so... Okay, let's just focus on the... It's just the raw. I like it. I also think that mix-wise I could do better, but we will be on the right track. There we go. Yeah. Okay, bongos come back up now. There we go. The darbuka. It's starting to slap a little bit. It's a bit more bold, a bit more confident. It's like you're going to need to run for your life now. Okay, so this all started today. I'm going to take a breather from that. I'm going to leave this for now. This is a good demo for Chase, and I'll export that to client in the coming days. Today's session started with a intention, and the intention was to avoid just using a standard jazz double bass instrument to supply the low end. So I resampled the jazz note being plucked, and then I placed it into the bass synth, which is now form and reactor patch, reactor device at least, and I can mess around with that, but we don't have to mess around with bass too much. I'll tell you why. Is it's not meant to be a feature, it's meant to be felt rather than heard. And if you listen to these conventional modern film scores and just TV stuff, you don't often hear much going on in the bass. It just provides the backlog. Specifically in action and chase sequences, is like it's pulsing. It's just the pulse, dun, 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 the heartbeat of the rhythmic stuff. So I'm not going to mess with that too much. I think next step, don't have a lot of time left, but I'm going to push onwards and try the new piece. So let's look at the workboard and see. Oops, I've unfortunately zoomed all the way in. Miro is making me manually navigate. Okay, cool. So we've done chase. We've got a little bit of a demo for that, so that's fine. countdown. This will be our next one. So this is usages for timed puzzles, like someone's knocking on the door, quick find a way to hide the body. Alright, so immediately for countdown, my mind goes to, even we don't have a reference track, but I know where to go with this. We need to convey the sense of ticking clock. You know, if there's a sound design element, if there's a ticking clock sound being played, then we can remove it. But the underlying pulse has to be fast, it has to be tense, the sense that things are moving, and also actually synchronized to the actual second beat. So in other words, 60 seconds in a minute or 120 beats per minute is going to give this piece legitimacy, because it's going to be at the time that we count seconds in. So I'm going to start at 60 BPM or 120 BPM, depends how you slice the pie, and I'm going to call this countdown. So first things first, we've got a new section in this master moments project, and it's called countdown. Next up, change the BPM to 120, and the pulse is going to be 4/4, and I'm just trying to hear now. I'm trying to imagine what this would sound like. Once again, our frame of reference is jazz instrumentation, which makes it much easier when you know, when you have a strongish direction like that. So it's very helpful. Okay, let's start with the piano. That's the default. You can always move away from it. Now I'm struggling with something in Reaper, which doesn't have the world's best onboard effects. They're adequate, but they're no match for third-party VSTs. What I'm looking for is an arpeggiator. So let's load up. I think they've got a JavaScript arpeggiator. FX chains, plugins. Not ARP. Sorry, I'm just in the other screen here. Searching for JS MIDI arpeggiator. Let's stick that on the piano right here. And here is it, the world's ugliest interface, but it does the job. So once I turn it on, the rate is obviously, let's try 1 times BPM. So it's actually going to be, 1 or 2 times BPM, that's fine. And now we need to switch it on. Velocity, number of variants. Let's hear it. Come on, arpeggiate for me. Let's try 2. No. Mode up. No, not getting there. Variant. The velocity use. Is it on? That's the only effect we have. And if we look at the bypass wet, so bypass is off, which is good. And let's take wet dry and stick that on there. So it should be like it is now, 100% bypassed up until this point. And then from here on out, we're going to drop it down. And then delete that automation. Cool. Why have we got... Oh, it's looping the loop. Okay, cool. Sorry, just getting through a little bit here. What I'm aiming to get is a piano which starts to arpeggiate on its own, but it seems like I don't have the current ability to do that. Okay, well, any advice if anyone's watching and knows what to do here, I appreciate some input. This is just noodling around, trying to find the answer. Comes with the stream, comes with the territory, you know. Let's figure it out. So, why would an arpeggiator not be working? That's just options for the actual interface. MIDI arpeggiator, that's the code, which is quite cool actually when you look at it. These are Lua scripts, L-U-A. They mostly like, you know, loops like this, like while loops. Find this stuff quite interesting. Yeah. Making plugins, baby. Okay, well, I'm not going to struggle too much with this. If we don't have an arpeggiator, I'm going to do it manually. Although it would be nice to have the... Watch a quick tutorial on it, but that's not going to help anybody. Okay, so arpeggiator is a fail. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to figure that out off stream. Cool, no problem. We're just going to hook on forward to... But very light, it can't be like in your face. I'm thinking of the... just 2 notes maybe. No bass, no melody really, just maybe not even a melodic note. Just like this, I like this. This is a major dominant 7, so let's do it in F. We've been doing everything in G and C. 3, 4, and then repeat wasn't on. Here we go. Take it back to there, and also extend the loop length. We're gonna do those, and we give ourselves 2 bar intro, and here we go with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The reason I like this particular interval, the 7th, the dominant 7th or the minor 7th, is because it sounds incomplete and it sounds suggestive, like something's about to happen. So there's this sense while you're rooting the piece in this dominant 7 that there's a sense that you're about to, that the puzzle is about to be solved, that we're in process, that it's unresolved, and time might be running out. I like this. That velocity hit is way too high. This is one rogue hit. There we go, just a very gentle suggestion of something incomplete and time is ticking. Countdown is making progress. I don't think we need to do too much to it. I certainly don't want any bass, like bass line. I want something less than a melody. So, making progress. What are you thinking so far? How have you enjoyed the stream so far? What is bringing you to this corner of the internet today? Let me know what you think in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys are up to on this fine Thursday. Connected by the power of the internet. How about a roll? Not too much movement, just like that. Very simple. So this is an E flat and a, let's get the drums up here, let's just give it a record. Nice and simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Good. That's fine by me. I just lost the E flat, which is this drum roll. Lost that. Let's do it manually. So there should be a drum roll here, which lasts the entire measure. So it looks like the drum roll can't exist at the same time as the hi-hat, so we're gonna have to do it manually. Let's just get a drum roll 4 bars. Here's how we do it. Okay. Open that up, select everything, make sure it's muted, then record just the 4 bars of drum. Nice and soft like that, good. I'm going to give it a mono bounce, which means now that we've got an audio bounce of that MIDI part. Let's try it again. The reason I'm trying it again is because it was too soft, and now what I'm going to have to do is just volume down here. Sorry, let's try it again. No, that's what I didn't want. What I want is loud, but not intrusive. Okay, there we go. I'm just getting a bit specific there. Cool. It's very soft still, but anyway, we'll just leave it like that for now. Because you don't actually want a full-on drum roll going. We just want like a hint of it in the background. Subtle. Okay, great. And that means I can mute this now and unmute the hi-hats, which we formerly muted. So there we go, we've got both now. Drums is a snare drum roll. Snare roll. Might have to extend that out a bit, okay. And I'm going to just double click on here and make sure that that gets 12 dB boost. Cool. Alright kids, we're making some progress today, that's for sure. I think I'm going to call it a day. We've always got tomorrow. I don't want these high we want this. Good, snare roll's still way too loud now. I might have to do some fine tuning on that. I think I've got one short bar, eh? No, it's all good. I just don't like these hi-hats. They're also not quantized, are they? Cool. Let's give it a bash. Hello and welcome to the channel. If you've just arrived, I'm making music for an adventure game with jazz instrumentation. So we've got a piano, drums, and a snare roll with hi-hats. What I'm trying to do now is figure out how exactly to just temper the hi-hats so that they don't sound like they're too in your face. Just like that. Everything must be very subtle. You can just about hear a piano, but the rest is just really chilled. I am today working on this commission, but usually I do music templates, and I've actually just released another one this week. So I think that makes it 2 this week to Patreon. So if you're interested in finding out how to access those kind of more premium packs, which are much cooler than the free stuff, then go check out what's on offer there. And also, yeah, do check out the link in the description for the free stuff, because I want you to use it. I want you to use it in your own productions. I want you to have fun with playing around with some of the music. It's kind of like a head start, you know. I've given you a head start on your own production. So if you're new to music and you're seeing Ableton around and you want to try it out, don't start with a blank page. Try one of my zero dependency portable MIDI download packs, which you can see in the link in the description. That's a bit weird. I'm playing a trumpet sound here. Okay, right, I'm done with producing for the day. I feel like just noodling around now. Cool. Oops. Cool. All right, well, that was fun. Thanks so much for joining if you joined, and you know where to find the links to the stuff that I've done in the YouTube description. I'm going to keep showing up here at 2 p.m. UTC weekdays, including tomorrow, before I take a weekend break. And I'm making progress on this adventure game that I'm scoring. I'm really enjoying it every day. I'm making a little bit of moves in the direction I'm trying to go in. And I'm seeing a pickup in, the typical sort of thing is what you get out, what you put in, you get out, So by investing all of this time into the channel and, you guys, which I really dig connecting with people all over the place, just on this kind of casual, semi-anonymous terms, like everyone feels a lot more comfortable when they can just show up and check out, and I've got no power over the conversation. It's very much like democratic in that way. What I'm hoping for is to find, the people who are seeing what I'm up to and just want to be a part of it, and want to join in and all that. Same as everyone else. I'm looking for a community of people who really show up and appreciate what I'm doing, and that way I can give the best, give the best I can. Have a reason to look forward to it, and I do look forward to it. Every day I look forward to it. It's the highlight of my day. That's why I leave it last in the day, my work day, so that I can end the day on a good note. Yeah, I'd like to know who you guys are, who you people are, and let's do the change. So it's going to be... How's it go? That's it. piece called what's it called? Jive at 5. My hand keeps spazzing out and going to E flat. I'll get there. And then it goes. Something like that. Sorry, I'm really screwing around here, but anyway. Stream's kind of over, so I get to screw around. If you want to stick around, that's your thing. I'd love you to stick around. That's nice. I've been longing for something with a bit of pace. All the stuff I've been writing is kind of a little bit like not indicative. What I'm saying is not indicative of the jazz era. Let's just do a bit of housekeeping here. I'm gonna do Sinister. Just write that there. And save that. I feel like I need to just see what else is in the document. Walk, 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 walk. Just a checking out what's on. Oops. Where's my piano? Someone shouting. Happy with this kind of vibe. Don't really know what to do with it, but we'll see. I'm just gonna put your jazzy, fast jazz. Don't really know where we're going with it. It's 209. Let's take it down to one. Let's go 190. 190. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll just do the last part again. So it's gonna be go on, just gonna punch in over there. Doof doof and overdub. Good. So the part is okay, and it needs to punch in record, so change the MIDI to record overdub. And there we go, cool. That's it. Good. There again. It doesn't sound very hot. There we go. Just a bit of MIDI tweaking there and we'll be good. Cool, so let's loop that. Make sure it goes there. And just group that. Just so I got the idea down, while I was enjoying it. Right, so that's it for today, folks. Thanks for being part of it, stream. And yeah, we'll see you again tomorrow, same time. Adios.